Welcome everyone to another ride with an everyday Zwifter. Today I'm bringing you Fast Finishes number 2, which is a collection of 6 races with fast finishes. First race today is the ZHQ FutureWorks circuit race around the Champs-Elysees. This has been a good strong race with a decent group left to sprint for the finish. Just 1.3 k's to go, just coming under the tunnel, and riders popped the feather going up the hill and tried to go long. Some of the group are responding. I'm not one for great accelerations close to the finish, so I'm trying to chase wheels and hang on as best I can. I've got the Ghost power up, which previously I've had trouble getting the timing right. So I'm not sure how this one is going to go, but hopefully I've learned from before. Managed to close this gap. The group's slowing down a little bit. I think it's going to come back together. It's been a big push by everyone. And we are not sure how much is in the legs for the sprint. Let's pop the draft for the long run in. 0.5k to go. Probably should be a little bit further up if I'm going to sprint well, but with the Ghost, I want to go stealth mode and go from the back so they don't know. So now I've popped the Ghost, start sprinting from 300 meters out. It's a good posse, hoping I can get past everyone, but no, I've popped up. Still next to them, visible. I'm in the lead though, and you can't ask for more than that. Hopefully I can get all the way to the line. Uh-oh, people have come over me right on the line the last 10 meters. So that was a good effort. Got third, definitely better than the last series where I was tens of meters off. Since that was so fun, I thought I'd have another go. This is quite a small race, only 7 riders. But there's 5 come together at the end. 1.3 k's to go. This time no one's gone under the tunnel. I thought, hello, we're going to have a quieter run in this time. I've got the steamroller, which will take the edge off these cobbles. But then all of a sudden there's people popping red numbers and sprinting, and they are going long range from 1.1k out. Oh, hello, got to try and hang on here. It's not looking good, it's really stretching out. I'm cranking up to 5 watts a kilogram. Slowly looks like I'm getting back. I thought, alright, if it's coming in, I'll pop the steamroller and close up that gap. Now they've shut it down at the front. Realise no one's going to break away, and it is going to be a sprint to the line. I did think maybe I should just keep the power on and shoot past with my steamroller power up, but it was just a little too far. And the heart rate was pretty high for me. Max out of about 184, so 174 is up there. I want to stay close to the front of this group, not like last time. I'm going to go from the top of this 2% rise. And I should have gone as soon as I saw Sicilian get out of his saddle. I've left it a bit late again. I'm popping some good numbers. 10 watts a kilo is pretty good for me. The others are interested and sort of not. And this time it's me, and I nearly get over the top, so moved up from 3rd to 2nd this time, so good result. This should have started that sprint earlier. I might have been in with a shot. Because you find that the person stands out of the saddle before the numbers go orange, so that's the clue that I learned from that race. Now we're doing the Evo CC Sprint Race Series around the Two Bridges Loop. This is a mixed race with riders from all categories interspersed. There've been a few riders drop off and then come back, so it's been an interesting race. For the rider behind me, LDW Rides for Peepers, we'd been riding together for the whole race just about, and I thought, all right, 2Ks to go, I'm going to put the effort on going up this hill and see if I can drop him. But as it turns out, I couldn't. I just need to crest this hill with a bit of speed and it'll stretch the gap. Getting out to 10, 11, I'm wondering if that's enough. Again, heart rate's up, the legs are feeling pretty gassed out, so just trying to maintain a bit of momentum going down here. Got 28 meters. If I only had an aero power up and not the draft, I probably would have made it. Need to get up to 57, 58 Ks to hit super tuck mode, and don't feel like I've got the energy to sprint that out, but the rider behind me does. And he starts closing the gap down. I hit the super tuck now for a brief respite. The rider behind is closing in 20, 19 meters. Put some power down to try and stretch that gap. Only 0.8 Ks to go. No, he's closing right down quick now. 10 meters. Decided I need to check. Really? Is he that close? Yep, he's that close. So I decided, all right, off the power. I'll let him shoot by and I'll use the draft. Hit the draft, but the sticky draft catches him dead behind me. If it was a real race, he would have flipped over the handlebars. Anyway, so just coasting at 98 watts trying to get him to go past, but he doesn't. So back on the power, so I'm not going too slow. I want to sprint from this bridge. So does he, so we're off together. The draft helps me get going here. And I've got slightly more power with a bit of draft and just helps me get over him. Hold the sprint as far as I can all the way to the finish. So that was a good one, good exciting, good competition. The next one we have is the Evo CC Sprint Race Series, one of my favourite series because it's a good time of day for me. And it's the Flatland Loop in Elysees. This has been an interesting race because I found it hard to hold a couple of groups on at the start, and M. Wall had been with me and he might have felt that I had caused him to drop groups by him being behind me, and he'd sprinted off at one point just to ride the whole race in the 20 metres in front of me until Gilbanks had caught up, and then we'd all come together again. That's 1K to go, mostly downhill finish. Able to rest and just sit on 2.5 watts kilogram. Everyone's just waiting for that sprint time. I'm starting to learn that downhill you can go further out. I see this steep bit and then a sharp uprise just for a little bit, and I figure that's my point. As soon as we get down here, I am off. So I sprint up this hill and the others are slowed down just a fraction, and it allows me to gap them. And because of the speed I carried in, I was sprinting over 60 k's an hour up to 64. And even though the guys behind me are they're unable to close that gap down, because you can't go much faster than 64 k's as a C grader. So that worked well. I was pretty happy with that, and even though it wasn't the highest C, good experience for a sprint finish. The next race is the bump sprint race around the Tock route, around the Fuego Flats where it's nice and hot. So again, another mixed category race. I've been racing with Bs and Cs, and actually this small group we'd been picking up a couple of B riders, but unfortunately we hadn't been picking up any of the C riders to improve our standings. The rider up in front, 5 seconds, is JZ Buildbox, and he was with us and he'd gone for the long ride home. Whereas I'm not one for long rides home just yet. I'm happy to take my cue and sprint from 300-400 metres. Today I'm going from 250. Pop the aero. Newlands is off as well. But after that race I managed to find 10 watts a kilo and clear out on everybody. We're pretty pleased with what I had left in the tank. I didn't think that was possible, and we nearly caught back up to JZ Billbox, so not a bad result and a good sprint. The next one is another Evo CC Sprint Race Series. On Mercury Islands, Elysees, the 3 village loop this time. And as we'd come into this village, the rider in front, W, had put a bit of effort in going uphill and just cleared out for his long ride home. It seemed to be the theme of a couple of races in there where people had gone long for the finish. If I hadn't noticed, I could have probably jumped on his wheel and followed him in. It had been a hard race, so I'd tried to tack onto a bunch of Bs until we got to the first hill around the castle, and then I jumped off and then had to ride solo for a little bit until this group had caught up to me. So I wasn't sure of everyone's capability. W had been the strongest rider though. Again, this is another downhill finish. But this time I probably left it a little late for my sprint. I was erring on the side of caution and safety and probably waiting for someone else to go. The 5 of us form a nice little blob which creates good drafting savings, so we managed to keep W pretty close in front of us even though he's putting out extra 1.5 watts a kilogram. So 300 metres to go now. I've cracked the aero and put the watts down again. Again, managed to get over 10 watts a kilogram and hit the sprint point over 60k an hour. So I'm flying in, and again just missed catching the rider in front. I had to start it at 400 metres instead of the 250, 300. Would have had a shot at catching him. But again, overall, pretty happy with what I was able to put out. So maybe I'll have to look at going longer. Another Evo CC Sprint Race Series. This time the Seaside Sprint, which is event only, and you don't get to ride it very much, unless you're doing events that go on this course, which I hadn't seen too many of, so I thought, oh, I'll have a crack at this one, jump on. It is around just the normal roads in Watopia, so you do get to ride the roads, just not in this particular order as a course. This is the final climb, 0.6 k's to go, and Yo's heading off 6 watts a kilo, leading out. So you got to close this gap, or he's just going to shoot down the hill towards the finish. Uemura's got the same idea, he's cracked his draft so he can pick up speed. Cracked my draft to try and keep my speed up as well. Kim's come past it, oh that's a good wheel to catch, she's got some speed, that'll draw me up. There's a little kicker uphill here, got to keep the power on so you don't slow down, and then sprint on the bridge. And the draft has sucked me through. Even though I didn't have the highest power, I was still able to get through on momentum and drafting. And actually cracked it from the first over the line, C grade win. So all that practice had finally paid off. Got the green jersey, got some good Z points, and just thrilled with how it all turned out. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that little collection. Hope it inspires you. Hope you've learnt some skills. And all the best if you're Zwifting. Hope to see you out there sometime. Catch you later.